The content creator, Zachary Smeagol, who I don't follow for some reason. I've seen some videos from him. He does a lot of like very, very big picture, very variety, very cool little things, you know. Big recommend his channel. He does a lot of great stuff. And all Asmongold reacted to one of his videos. As you can see, it has a 912,000 views. Whereas his video, even now, what's driving up fast food prices, only has 500,000 right now. And he did like a whole thing about talking about it. I have no issue with people reacting to my videos in a transformative way. I actually encourage you, but it definitely sucks to see my videos slow down at 300k while Asmongold's reaction gets almost a mil. My vid was only up for 5 days, and it's pretty much lost all momentum. Now, this is a very, very complicated issue, I think, in terms of numbers, because I think, like, in the long run, Asmongold's reaction will massively benefit his channel. I think it will. And I think, like, the slowdown is also, you could debate whether or not it's directly caused by Asmongold's reaction or not. One thing, the discrepancy in views, the reason why it exists, and this is like, it's not a very, very nice truth, but it is a truth. A lot of people are interested in seeing certain people watch your content than your content. That's just how it is. I see people talking about this all the time, you know? So I think, like, this is in the long run, people who would have never watched his channel in isolation now watched his channel through Asmongold and will maybe watch his channel again. So in the long run, I think this will benefit him. However, I do think that this is a problem, and I've talked about this numerous times before. Just in case someone stumbled onto this video, I do sometimes dabble with reactions. I sometimes dabble with reactions. But my main content is obviously the main channel with very, very long scripted videos. So this is not a case of a reactor liking reactors, right? I really, really like reaction content. I like watching it. I like doing it. I think it's fun. I think, like, react content really brings back the old days of YouTube, where it's just a content creator talking about something with, like, no script, nothing. You're just sitting there and you're watching a video that brings up some interesting points, and it causes, like, a debate. And it's slightly more upbeat because, you know, there's already a video that is produced, and it's just interesting. I like react content across the board, basically. I do. Not like react content where it's like, I'm gonna watch memes for an hour, but I do think, like, a lot of react content is really, really fun. I do. I enjoy it. That said, I do think YouTube does have a problem, and a problem that needs to be kind of fixed. Because, like, this discrepancy in views, yes, it is because, like, Asmon is just infinitely bigger than he is, right? It is because of that. Like, that's literally why. I think this needs to be, I think it needs to have a bit of a shakeup. Why does it need to have a bit of a shakeup, right? And by the way, we're talking about Asmongold specifically because he's mentioned, but, like, this is not an exclusive Asmongold thing. The biggest problem with this is that I think, like, Asmon usually talks for hours, right? As you can see, his video is 37 minutes long, and Zach's video is only 15 minutes long, right? So he basically more than doubled its length, right? And that's, like, a good reaction in my book. I know Ludwig made a video a while ago as well. I think, like, good reactions are those where, like, the length of the reaction is, like, 3 times the video length, because you know that there was a lot of yapping, a lot of roundabouts, and a lot of stories, you know? If his video is 15 minutes, Asmon's video is 15 minutes, then I would say it's, like, mega cringe. But that's not really the case. However, even that is a bit of a dubious thing. Very dubious thing, because his video, he uploads weekly. In the same way, not even weekly, he uploads, like, bi-weekly almost, right? I'm not gonna watch this video because it'd be very ironic now. He uploads, like, bi-weekly, right? So this video took him at least a week, potentially 2 weeks, to create for 15 minutes. Asmongold, Zach, got a video in 37 minutes. Even though he created, like, a very good reaction, he added a lot to the original content, and for me, this is totally cool. He got infinitely more value per time, right? Like, value per hour spent. And that's, like, the huge thing with reactions for me. Even if a reaction is really, really cool, like, the value add on top is still exploiting massive value that already existed there. In this case, it is this highly produced video. You know, highly produced, highly edited stuff. And I thought about this for a long time. For a very long time. And I do think I have come up with a mild way to tackle this. Because a lot of people have said that, you know, reactions should just go away. I don't think so. I don't. I think reactions produce value on all sides, including YouTube, because there are people who watch the original video, then watch the reaction. I sometimes do that as well. Sometimes. Because I just like hearing what people think about a topic that I've also looked at, you know? Again, that's like one of the beautiful things about YouTube. Hearing people talk about similar subjects in even in similar settings, even with similar videos. So I don't think like we should just like destroy all reactions. I don't. What I think we should do is start looking at something like this, right? You should see paint. I made a educational paint thing, a collage of paint things, right? So let me propose my idea, an actionable solution. What you're looking at right now is on my second channel, there is like a copyright section, right? So as you can see, if you look at this thing right here, it shows you like the percentage of my video, right? And if I want to, I can copyright claim all of these videos. I obviously can't. These are not my videos. The reason why they're here is because all of these are reacting to the same things I was reacting to. The reason why it's 100% matched is because I watched the same thing they did, right? In this case, it was the Elden Ring trailer and the WoW trailer, right? Or the WoW cinematic. So this tool already exists within YouTube that is accessible for every single creator, right? Sometimes reactions will pop up here, and if you want to, most people don't do this just because this is like this is one of the unspoken rules between content creators. Unless your video is being re-uploaded one for one, do not strike it. If you don't like it, if you don't like the reaction, if you don't agree with the criticism, if you don't like anything about what they've done, unless it is literally your video one for one, do not strike it. That is the #1 way to burn down your reputation forever. No one likes a copyright striker. But what my point is, there is already the option to strike videos that have used the same content, right? This is accessible to everyone. Another thing that is accessible in YouTube is this. If you click on like certain songs, this thing will pop up telling you that there are videos using this song, right? Shorts remixing this video. I think I looked up I think I looked up All-Star for this actually. So this is another thing that already exists in YouTube that tells you that the original material that you're watching right now has been reused in other videos through like some transformative means, right? Cool. Another thing with YouTube is that when you're making shorts, you can create this pin right here, which is related content, right? Let me just do red. Related content. So what this basically does is I had a short talking about Avatar, and that short was extracted from a longer video where we were talking about like season 1 of Avatar, right? And if a person is watching the video in the shorts feed, there is always a pop-up saying related video, and they can click through that and watch the full video. So that like the short is basically the advertisement for the full video, right? So with all of that in mind, I have an idea. Let's take the reactor and the reactee. As you can see, I used my hardcore paint skills to paint out the red background because I wanted to use a blue color for him. So blue and reactor, right? So these are the people we're looking at. So hypothetically, right? We will now be in YouTube's account through the reactee. We're in his account, right? And we're going to be looking at this. So you have the video by Asmongold titled "This Video Changed My Life" by Asmongold, right? And this video has 500,000 views because why not? And they have used 45% of rather like 45% of their video is your video, right? Just like in the original copyright thing, you have the option of striking this. You won't do this because why would you? You wouldn't. Alternatively, what you can do is you can click the split button. What this will do is this will look at this, and behind the scenes, YouTube will be like, oh, they want to like do a revenue split situation, right? So Asmon reacted to his to this video, and 45% of his video is your video. So 45% of this should go to you. Now, this is something I do think is up for debate, like in terms of how much value is provided by which party, right? So this 45 thing, I don't know if it should be split like directly down the middle or what. I illustrated it right here, right? So this is what the reactors revenue should theoretically look like in this situation. But this is something I'm like sort of maybe not. Maybe there is like a 50-50 situation where it doesn't matter how much of it you watch, where it's just like 50-50 across the board. Whether it's like 80-20, whether it's 70-30. This is something that I think people should really think about and, you know, consider. Because how much of Asmon's video is just Asmon, and that's why people watch it? And how much of Asmon's video is because he is watching the reactee, right? I don't think it's simple to say, as we already saw by the discrepancy in views. If Asmon gets this like far more views than the original video, then like what is the point of value, you know? You could argue that it is actually the reactor and their brand, right? So I don't think it's as simple as saying, you know, it's just like point for point. Whatever the case, that is something you can think about. But under this hypothetical scenario, what would happen step by step? I wrote it out. So the reactor, in this case, Asmongold, uploads a YouTube video. YouTube auto detects it and tags it, right? So what this would do is it would show up like this. Immediately under Asmongold's video, you would see this related video that you can click through. Asmon already does this. Asmon is a very good dude on this. He always shouts out the content creator. He always shows their channel. He always links the video, both in his stream chat as well as his YouTube videos. He always does this, which is big thumbs up. Big thumbs up. He tags them. He links the videos, everything. But I think this should be like applied directly on YouTube's end, right? Like immediately. So that's step number one. However, I think it should also be available to remove. I think it should be like tagged automatically, but I do think there should be an option to remove it for like random scenarios where it's like a video that is like a part of a longer video and it's not important at all and it's like 2% and it's like a random thing. Why is this video tagged, you know? So all of this is going to run on the honor code. Why is it running on the honor code? Because that's already what we're doing, and I will explain why later on. So that's basically what we're doing. If you react to a video, it's going to get tagged. You can, if it's not actually a reaction video, remove it, right? Step number 2, the reactee, in this case, gets a notification. So this was this, right? They get a notification that they can do this. They can choose to split the revenue. This is what I said with the 45%. We still need to workshop this. Maybe it's not going to be like that. As per YouTube's calculation, right? They can choose to do this, or they can strike right away, right? So if this is a re-upload, there is like no two ways about it. They strike it immediately. They just strike it down. That's it. Job done, right? Because we don't want to be like a weird situation where everything changes fundamentally. So during this split situation, the money goes into an escrow account. An escrow account is basically between where like the money is held between the parties, and whichever party wins this dispute will get the money, right? Or in this situation, both parties. This is just so you don't have weird situations where someone's like doing some sort of weird shady things. I think an escrow account is usually the best way of going about things in general. Step 3, the reactor gets a notification. There should probably be some kind of deadline on this, like 7 days or something, right? And during this period, it's just like in an escrow, because you get paid by YouTube every month. So whether it's like 7 days or 14 days, it doesn't really matter, right? As long as it's within the month, I think it should be fine. So the reactor gets a notification, deny or accept. So this is talking about the split revenue thing, right? If they accept this, the reactee, basically the reactee comes to you and says, you reacted to my video, I want a cut of the video. The reactor says, sure, I reacted to your video, why not? Let's split the revenue and let's go our separate ways. We're both making money, it's good, right? Revenue is split. However, if they think that this is not valid, they can deny it. And then the reactee can choose whether or not they will still strike it, right? Or they can just let the video be as per usual. The problem with this right away is there will be reaction channels who don't want to do this, who will immediately just click deny, right? And this will not be good. All of this will still run on the honor code in the same way that you could try striking reaction videos. You can try doing that, right? Because no one's going to take you to court. I don't think people will start suing each other. So I do think that a lot of this will still be running on purely the honor code. And I think if you ask most channels who react to content, they will basically happily say, yes, let's split the revenue because we are both, you know, like, this is content you made. And the reason why I want to put the burden on the reactor, right? Or rather not the reactor, but the reactee, is because that wouldn't disrupt this situation. I don't want it to be a situation where, let's say, I make a commentary video talking about something, and let's say it's like 2%, right? And I don't want it to be an automatic situation where it is automatically like said to go to the reactee. I think this needs to be a proactive decision by the person who is being reacted to. That's how I think about it. There might be holes in this idea, but I think like right now, this is the least destructive and like the most simple idea that you can just slot in. And if it doesn't work, you can start thinking about ways to actually make it work. But I don't think this would like destroy anything. And this does seem to like solve the fundamental issue, because I think if you asked Asmongold about this, he would split revenue. I think he would. I don't think he would ever have a problem with it. And I think, like I said, this goes for like most people. Because if I had the opportunity to like react to whoever I wanted to react to on YouTube, and the only thing we had to do was split revenue, I think it'd be great. I think it'd be awesome. Because I don't want to become like just a react channel, but I like reacting to things. But I am still like a bit, you know, like on the whole reaction thing. I am. I think this is a pretty good idea. I like the split idea. The reactor can also opt in to demonetize their own video and let the original uploader get 100%. I think like now you're thinking like 2 steps ahead almost, right? And this is what I mean. I think there should be like a case of you could sort of negotiate this rate, and this is why I put like a big question mark next to it, because I don't know whether you want to base the idea purely on how much of the original content is there. Because I do think that there is a very, very valid argument to be made that this is a question of brand value, not really a question of the video that is being watched, if that makes sense. Because Asmongold can make a video sitting in his attic, and it will also get 2 million views, right? So the value proposition of the video is not really the topic, you know? The video being watched is the background for his brand, if that makes sense, right? And this is not to say that like the video itself is not valuable. Of course I'm not saying that. It's just like on a very, very high level. Because like for my videos, like on my main channel, a lot of my videos are not my personal brand. Most of these videos are focused topics, and that's why you see spiking views, right? People don't really come to me for Koroto. Like obviously there are some people, but generally speaking, I don't necessarily have a personal brand. So it is like a very, very hard conversation that I think like the revenue split situation is a bit more dubious. But if you wanted like a band-aid fix, this seems like a okay first step towards splitting revenue between both creators. And the reason why I want to totally make it reliant on the honor code is, like I said, number one, it is like, it doesn't destroy anything that already exists within YouTube. But number two, I think like a lot of this creator relations stuff, you don't want to make it legal. And you don't want to make it legal for the simple reason that it opens up doors that you don't want opened up, you know? Like one truth about YouTube that I don't think a lot of people think about is that YouTube is built on the foundation of basically copyright theft. Most of YouTube, if you were to take to court every single content creator, I can guarantee there would be a very, very, very large portion who would lose, right? People always throw out fair use. Fair use is not a law. It is a legal defense that must be proven in court. So even if my video, for example, is me yapping about Attack on Titan, I would have to prove that in court, theoretically. This kind of stuff where like people will start suing each other, I don't think anyone wants this. I don't think anyone at all wants this. So I think this should be like strictly a between creators thing. The video might not be the primary factor, but the series of algorithmically favored videos and series of videos could build a person's brand. Yes, and like that's what I mean. I'm talking about it like extremely big picture with just like brand value, right? Because it's intangible. All of it is completely intangible. Like Asmongold the persona and Asmongold the brand, you can't put a dollar value on him. You can put a dollar value on each of his videos, but you can't put a dollar value on him specifically, because he's a brand. You could do math to estimate it, but there's a reason why, like, the stock market is like the closest approximation, and even then you'll have people with like a lot of education who say that the stock value is not representative of the actual value at all. You know, the stock market is the closest approximation we currently have to estimating actual brand value, and even that is not representative a lot of the time. It's a very complicated issue that's kind of like beside the point for this case. But yes, I think this is a band-aid fix. I would love to hear more takes on this. If I had the option to do this, I would probably react to more stuff because I'd feel better about it. As I think would like everyone would be winning in this situation. Because right now I am still kind of like I think it's you know, I think there are also like unspoken rules where if you're a much bigger content creator, you don't really want to react to someone who is incredibly small because that could potentially kill the video completely. But on the flip side, if a big content creator watches your video and you're a small content creator, that could be the biggest blessing to your channel ever. Because for YouTube, all you usually need is one video to pop off. I think I would say 90% of content creators quit YouTube before they've actually seen like the first kernel of success. And I think most successful content creators will get that first kernel of success and they will take advantage of that. So I do think, like I said, I think people being reacted to, like in his situation, I think it is a massive value add. I do think so. He wrote a very long post about this, and I can link it in chat if you want to read it, but I'm not going to go through the whole thing. The biggest problem like he raises right here, and I did look at this, the biggest problem with this is also the fact that it's cannibalizing YouTube, right? If people just wanted to watch this content on like Twitch or Kick or whatever, it's not a big deal. But because YouTube is, like, if someone sees this exact video on someone else's channel, this video's value decreases. That's why I always meme about the fact that like someone I follow uploads a similar idea and I get sad. Because like the idea of like the value of that idea has now been diminished because it already exists. It's cannibalizing each other. So if it exists on a separate platform, it's not that big of a deal. This is not like a perfect system at all. It's not. A lot of it is purely reliant on vibes, but I do think that there isn't like a way that bad actors can take advantage of it. That's why I specifically want, like, this is the biggest thing. At no step here, at least not that I can think of right now, at no step can a bad actor do something without like consequences, right? That's why I deliberately put in this thing where if the reactor thinks that the notification is false, they can deny it. Because if they deny it, that opens up good old copyright. And if you want to go down the good old copyright stuff, you know what you're getting into, you know? So this whole thing, even though it seems like a redundant step, it is very much necessary. Like, you need to have this constant back and forth, otherwise you're going to have people just like claiming everything. That's my system. That's it. I think it's a good system.